The fourth quarter of 2016 brought with it the highly anticipated release of Apple's MacBook Pro. Now, after reviewing this as a potential option for myself, I decided it was perhaps not the most cost-effective way to upgrade my workstation. My current component consists of a mid-2015 MacBook Pro with a 2.8 GHz processor, 16 GB of RAM, and the AMD 2 GB graphics card. Now, typically, I use my laptop with applications such as Radiologic, Reaper, Illustrator, Photoshop, Final Cut Pro X, as well as Apple Motion, and over the past couple of months, I've been looking for a way to potentially future-proof it over the next few years. After some research, what I discovered is that you can attach an external graphics processing unit, an eGPU, or just graphics card, to your laptop through the Thunderbolt port. Now, that enables you to connect cards such as this, the Zotac GTX980, to your computer and utilize the high-performance speeds and capabilities of this card that you would not otherwise get through something like the integrated graphics card in the laptop or even the AMD graphics card upgrade in this laptop. But the question is, does it perform? We will answer that later in the video. Now, to attach an external graphics card such as this GTX980 to your laptop, you will need a PCIe Thunderbolt 2 enabled chassis, such as the Sonnet Echo Express, an Akitio Thunder 2, or a Bizon box. I personally picked up a used Bizon box online, and it's actually pretty well a modified Akitio Thunder 2. I think the differences are it has some holes on the sides and the top, and it also comes with a more powerful power supply, which you will need for this graphics card. The one I received was this, and it is a Dell 220p-1 or 01, and this provides 200 watts of power to this card, and I think this card draws about 175 watts. It's actually just about the same size as the card. On the Bizon Box website, you can find a list of compatible cards. As I said before, I chose the Zotac GTX980 amp, and that comes with 4 GB of DDR5 RAM. Unfortunately, the card is slightly bigger than the chassis. But after some bachelor's degree hacksawing, the card fits snugly in the case, with some extra cooling capabilities. Just be careful not to damage the radiators. Next, it's time to plug in the chassis and initiate setup. To use an eGPU with a Mac, you will need to modify some code. To do this, boot your Mac in recovery mode, enter terminal, and disable system integrity and reboot. Once your Mac is rebooted, make sure your eGPU is plugged into your computer via the Thunderbolt port. You will want to download, install, and run the automation software in terminal. As you can tell, it has correctly identified my graphics card as the GTX 980. For my situation, I do not want to download the driver, but for yours, you're going to hit Y and enter. It will download the driver and then ask you to install the driver. You hit Y and enter again. Once it's finished installing, it will prompt you to restart your Mac. And now, as long as everything went well, your machine should boot right on up, and it'll be recognized by that external graphics card. Now, some drawbacks of this option. The eGPU is only recognized through an external monitor and not the laptop screen. The eGPU is not hot pluggable. Attempting this will crash the machine. The laptop will not take full advantage of the eGPU unless it is on the main display. To do this, you will need to go into System Preferences, Displays, Arrangement, and move the toolbar from your laptop to the external monitor. Before doing this last step, I was getting about half the performance from my eGPU than I was on my internal AMD card. Up next, the fun part, game testing. This is where done on the most extreme settings with a direct comparison of the internal AMD card on the left and the GTX 980 on the right. Here you can see the differences between the internal card and the external card in Cinebench. Not as drastic a result as I would have expected, but coming back over to testing in Unigine Heaven, you can definitely see the difference once again between the internal and external graphics cards. And now a quick export test in Final Cut Pro 10. This is a 3-minute video roughly that I was working on a few months back about the Saratoga Springs Comic Con, the Chase Con. The most noticeable improvement I have seen in Final Cut Pro over the past couple of months of using this card has been in rendering such as color correcting and denoising. But as you can see, it is a little bit faster in the export of this movie file, but not too much faster. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the upgrade, and I recommend this to anyone looking to boost the graphics performance of their MacBook Pros. If you have done testing with an eGPU with other applications or games, leave a comment below with your results as well as your recommended cards. Until next time, this is Alexander Calder Spinelli with Longbow Media signing off. Catch you later, cool cats.